Good morning, everybody. It's Robbie here, and it's Sunday, so that means it's time for another week's weigh-in. All right, good morning, everybody. I hope you all are having a wonderful week, a wonderful weekend, and doing well on your plans. As always, comment down below. Let me know how you're doing. I love hearing your successes, your struggles, all of that. We're here to support each other. I need it, and I love being able to support you guys, so please comment. And ignore the noises, because my cat has a lot of energy right now, and I just got groceries, and there's a bag on the floor, apparently, that he's playing with. But yeah, so it is Sunday, and this week was rough. I had a lot. This might end up being a long video, so I apologize. I'll try to put a timestamp somewhere. However you do that, I might just put it on the screen. I might put one of those bullet things if I can figure out how on when I actually start talking about my weigh-in. I want to talk about my week. Despite having therapy two times this week, sorry, my cat's being silly. Despite having therapy 2 times this week, making these videos is kind of therapy for me. So I want to talk it out. I struggled a lot this week. It started off really well. Coming off of a weight loss of 5.4 pounds last week, I was really motivated. So Sunday, I honestly did well. Monday, I did well. Tuesday was my day off. I struggled there because I miscalculated some points or some calories. Points. I haven't done points in years. I miscounted some calories, and when I fixed it, I realized I did go over my daily goal. As well as on Tuesdays, because I'm off, I'm a little bit more sedentary. Luckily, I did do a lot of cleaning and things like that, but I didn't get 10,000 steps in by any means. Wednesday, the struggle bus started, but not because of my personal stress, just because we had an ice storm that came through, and we decided to close early on Wednesday. So we closed at 5, and normally I'd be there till 8. And so when I got home, I kind of went just a little bit over, but not horrible. But then Thursday happened. Thursday was a whirlwind of a day. We were closed because of the ice at work, so it was another day off, so I'm a little bit stressed because of money. And I was trying to figure out a psychological diagnosis. So I honestly think I've done a bunch of tests. Like, I have a stack of paperwork here, including a test that is technically for doctors to fill out, but I found it, so I filled it out. And I think my issue is actually not bipolar, but ADHD. I'm not a professional, so I don't fully know, but I really kind of think so. So during this whole process, I talked to friends and family, and they kind of agree. And ADHD, I know there's a lot of stereotypes about it, but it can be pretty serious, and it can cause the depression and anxiety issues that I struggle with. And so I was wanting to, maybe my doctor could diagnose that, because I've been having an issue. It is so hard finding a psychiatrist or a psychologist for that matter, especially one that takes my insurance. I got Ambetter through the marketplace, and not many people take Ambetter. I should have taken one of the other ones, but I'm like, it's a good insurance plan for those that take it. So during this week, I had a friend actually gave me one of her Adderall, and I do not promote taking medication without a prescription. I do not, but I did. Just once, just to see, because it's one of those, you'll know if it works for you. And if it doesn't, you'll know that too. And I had taken it, and it was like magic. Like, I was paranoid, because, it's a stimulant. I was paranoid. I don't want, to be on speed or anything like that. But it slowed me down. My brain, I was talking about it with my therapist, constantly has, at least 5 layers of thoughts going on. I didn't even know. And tell me, does any of you, that your brain can actually just stop and you're not actively thinking ever? Like, my therapist said, yeah, when she watches TV, that happens. Or if they're focused on something. I have layers of thoughts where there's thoughts in the foreground going on as I'm talking and what I'm talking about. But I'm also thinking about what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it. Behind that, I'm thinking about, right now, stuff that I got to do during the day. Or what my cat is doing, hoping he's not breaking. All these thoughts happening at the same time. And apparently that's not super, super, super common. But when I did take that Adderall, it's like a horse putting blinders on. I could focus all of a sudden on one thing at a time and not be so overwhelmed, and so it helped. So Thursday, I was trying to contact my doctor and see if she does work with diagnosing that, or at the very least be willing to try to prescribe something that could kind of replicate what I had just done on my own, which again, I do not recommend. Shouldn't have done that. I still feel super guilty about it, but I did. But she doesn't do that. She said, no, you do need a psychiatrist for that. I know some doctors will prescribe it or diagnose it, but I don't. Okay, so then I proceeded to spend hours trying to find a psychiatrist. I was on the phone, I was on websites, I was on my insurance website, but then you run into the struggle of, well, okay, cool, this is a psychiatrist. They take my insurance. They're accepting new patients. All layers you got to get through. And then, oh, well, they're actually a geriatric psychiatrist, or they're a forensic psychiatrist, not ones that I need. So I'm going through all that, and then the last phone call I had made, it was actually funny because she was listed through my insurance's website to this company. So I call, and she doesn't work there, but I was like, I don't know her. I'm not trying to get her. I just need a psychiatrist. And they're like, well, hold on. So we started talking. She has 2 people that work in that office, and one of them takes my insurance and actually does work with ADHD and diagnosing stuff. And what I loved, she was saying, you're going to be here a while though. It's not a quick, thing, which I prefer. The last psychiatrist I went to, I literally filled out the paperwork in the waiting room. He looked at it, and within 30 seconds of saying hi, diagnosed me with bipolar without discussing the paperwork. And that is not thorough enough, in my opinion. That is what caused me to start taking all these medications. And I personally don't know if I believe I have bipolar, considering not a single one of those medications helped at all. Like, I can understand it takes a long time to find the right prescription, but something should help a little bit. Nothing did. So I'm not fully convinced that I have that. And that's, again, why my brain is settling onto the ADHD thing, because if depression medication isn't helping, and anxiety medication can help a little bit, but bipolar medication, not at all. And I was on a bunch of it. That's why I gained all my weight back. Maybe because we're treating the wrong thing. So I get excited about that. And I'm like, all right, cool. I got a psychiatrist. I'm going to see her this coming Tuesday. So I will do my video after that. Don't know what the topic is going to be. I might just talk about going to the psychiatrist. I don't know. But in the middle of all that, I didn't quite fully realize what was going on because I was so focused, hyper-focused. If it is ADHD, that's a thing apparently. My sister was messaging. My dad ended up in the hospital. Again, I didn't register at first. And so then it came time to start addressing that. And long story short, he's gonna be okay. He's okay now. He's at the hospital still. He has AFib going on. And so he's just hanging out there so they can monitor it. Tomorrow they're going to shock his heart to get it back in rhythm, and then he's going to go to a cardiologist, so they can do a cardio catheter and actually see if there's some blockage and some other stuff going on. Figure out exactly what caused this. So he's going to be okay, but at the beginning of it, when you find out your father's heart rate is going 150 beats per minute, that kind of freaks you out. So that started stressing me out, not knowing what was going on Thursday. And then I had to have a phone call with my landlord. And long story short, I have to move. It's very complicated. It has to do with because his father owned this building when I moved in, but his father passed away, but his father never had a proper bill or a proper will. And so it's been in probate. There's this going on, that going on. They've been fighting it for 3 years now. And all this other stuff. And a new mortgage company took over the mortgage. And apparently, I think paperwork's lost or whatever. I don't know. It's very complicated. But basically, the place is going to get foreclosed on. So I have to move. And I'm freaking out about this because I don't have money. I have a bad credit score. TMI to be sharing with strangers on YouTube, but it's a fact of life. I have a horrible credit score. I had plans to work on fixing it, but now it's crunch time and it's too late to fix it. Especially when I have to save every ounce of income I can to try to find a new place. So I am, like I said, I'm freaking out, and it's been a struggle. I'm gonna see if I can say this without crying, because so far I haven't been able to. But it's been a struggle since my mom has passed away and we all moved out of the house that I grew up in. I have not felt like I've had a home. I have had to move so many times in situations like this where it's not my fault. Or like I even went to a proper like apartment complex where I'm like, all right, it's a corporation. Well, then they sold the building and they kicked us out because they wanted to turn them into condominiums. And I've had, landlords where they kicked me out because they wanted to move their niece in, and they could offer me someplace else, but the rent was like 3 times what I was paying. A bunch of different situations. And so I've constantly, for the past 10 years, I haven't felt safe. I haven't felt secure in the place that I am. And this is just it happening again. And I'm very stressed out. Like I said, trying to find a place. They all want your credit score. I don't care if I've never missed rent ever in my life, but I have made some mistakes with credit cards. And so that ruined my credit score. So I don't know if they'll be willing to overlook that. Maybe I can have enough time to save enough where I can throw an extra deposit at them, whatever. But I don't know. Everything's just stressed through the roof. So I proceeded to eat like a pig. And Friday didn't do much better. I know I went over my calories that day. Friday I did not. I barely did. But then yesterday, I reined it in some. Like, I didn't eat healthy food, but I stayed within my calories. So then that's the entire week. It started off good, then I had 2 bad days, and I was mentally prepared to gain this week. When I stepped on the scale, honestly, I was surprised because, like I said, when I went over my calories, like, it included eating an entire cake on top of meals. So it went way over. And I was trying to be good. I'm like, I'm going to have a Lily's chocolate candy bar. Those are gross. I'm sorry if you love Lily's chocolate. I know I see it all over the place in the Weight Watchers world. But the candy bars are gross. Maybe for baking, they're fine. But I did not enjoy it, which made me want real stuff. And yeah, so went overboard on a lot of things. And so when I stepped on the scale this morning, like I said, I was pleasantly shocked. So let's just get into that. My starting weight was 388.6, a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Last week, I was at 383.2. So today I stepped on the scale and I'm 381.2. So that means I lost 2 pounds this week and a total of 7.4 pounds off. I obviously would have been more if I didn't have those struggle bus days, but that's part of life. I had mentally accepted, because everything blowing up at one time, I had mentally accepted a gain. I had hoped that, honestly, my only hope was that it wasn't gaining all of the weight off that I'd lost already. But I lost. So that's awesome. I'm very happy about that. It does make me realize that I do need to initiate some kind of plan for stressful weeks. I do think getting that board up on my wall will help, but at the same time, it makes me, why am I going to hang stuff up on a wall? I've got to pack this whole apartment up. It's a struggle. It's hard. But like I said, in the long run, I did well and I got back on track. That's the main thing that I'm happy about, was that I didn't let, what happened Thursday and a little bit of Friday, I didn't let that give me an F-it moment where I was like, forget it. Okay, so Saturday I'm gonna eat whatever the heck I want to too and go overboard. I was able to rein it in and get back on track rather than just throwing the whole week away. Because I guarantee if I did have another day of going crazy overboard, I would not have ended with a loss this week. So lesson learned there, and I'm grateful for that. I'm trying to focus on the positives. But yeah, so sorry this was a longer video. Well, I mean, it's 15 minutes, and you guys tell me constantly not to apologize. I'm trying not to. It's just, in my head, videos should be 10 minutes. Don't know where I got that number. It's just in my head. And so whenever I go over it, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Well, I mean, you guys can turn it off. So if you didn't want to watch, you wouldn't still be here. So anyway, going into this week, I'm just repeating the same goals as last week. I'm focusing on my water. I'm going to try better to get my steps in and my calories. Hopefully there's no more bumps in the road. And like I said, Tuesday, I do go to my psychiatrist. So wish me luck on that. I don't know if you can get a full proper diagnosis in one setting, unlike the last psychiatrist who gave me a diagnosis in 30 seconds. So we'll see how that goes. And like I said, I will do a video on Tuesday. What I wanted to cook actually, but the thing that I wanted to cook, I bought today. So maybe I'll have it 2 times this week. I don't know. It's very simple, but it's delicious. So we'll see if I cook. I might just talk about my therapy session. I might come up with something else. Who knows? I've got a couple days and my brain can think of a million things in a couple days. So we'll see how that goes. So thank you guys for watching. Sorry for rambling. Again, I love and appreciate your support. So please give it down. Let me know how you're doing, all of that. So like I said, comment. Please like this video. Please subscribe. And let's keep this motivation train going. Talk to y'all Tuesday.